Hi, I'm Alexander Shin, and this is the story of how I turned from a worthless stepdaughter into the owner of one of the largest luxury hotel chains in Asia. Sometimes the people closest to you can be the ones who underestimate you the most, but success is the sweetest revenge. I was 16 when my father married Victoria Wang, heir to the prestigious Wang Hotel Group. From day one, she made it clear that I wasn't part of her legacy. Her daughter, Isabella, who was my age, treated me like a servant rather than a stepsister. "At least now you'll learn the value of hard work," Victoria would say with a smirk. The summer I turned 18, Victoria insisted I earn my keep by working at their flagship hotel in Singapore. Not in management training, like Isabella, but as a busser in their restaurant. "Someone needs to learn humility," she told my father, who merely nodded, too invested in his new marriage to protest. What they didn't know was that I had inherited $50 million from my mother's family when she passed away. I kept it secret, living modestly while investing in tech startups and cryptocurrency. By day, I cleared tables and endured Isabella's taunts. By night, I was building an empire. "Look at her," Isabella would snicker to her friends over breakfast. "Can't even afford designer clothes while working at our hotel." I'd smile quietly, remembering my latest investment that had just tripled in value. The Wang Hotel Group had been struggling for years, stuck in old-fashioned luxury while newer chains innovated. I watched silently as Victoria and Isabella ignored customer complaints, dismissed staff suggestions, and refused to modernize their operations. Every mistake they made, I documented. Every opportunity they missed, I noted. Then came the COVID pandemic. While other hotels adapted with contactless check-ins and enhanced cleaning protocols, the Wang Group floundered. Their occupancy rates plummeted. Victoria blamed everyone but herself, firing loyal employees while Isabella posted poolside photos on Instagram. "This is all temporary," Victoria assured the board. "Our legacy will survive." But I knew better. I had spent 2 years learning every aspect of hotel operations from the ground up, not from a cushioned executive office like Isabella. Through a series of shell companies, I began buying shares in the Wang Group whenever the price dipped. Nobody noticed the quiet accumulation. Victoria was too busy planning Isabella's elaborate 21st birthday party at their half-empty flagship hotel. The party was a garish display of wealth they no longer had. "Alexandra," Victoria called out as I passed with a tray of champagne, "since you're here, make yourself useful and help the serving staff." Isabella's friends giggled, taking photos of me in my service uniform. I served drinks with a smile, knowing what would happen at tomorrow's shareholders' meeting. Through my shell companies, I now owned 45% of the Wang Group. The other major shareholders, frustrated with Victoria's mismanagement, had secretly agreed to sell their shares to me. The next morning, I changed from my usual simple clothes into a tailored Channel suit. When I walked into the shareholders' meeting, Victoria didn't even recognize me at first. Isabella was too busy texting to notice my entrance. "As you all know," Victoria began, her voice strained, "the past 2 years have been challenging. The board has suggested selling the group to a major international chain." She paused, fighting back tears. "While this pains me deeply, we must consider all options to protect our legacy." That's when I stood up. The room fell silent as I walked to the podium. Victoria's face contorted in confusion. "What are you doing here?" "This meeting is for shareholders only." I smiled, pulling out a folder. "Oh, but I am a shareholder, Victoria. In fact," I nodded to my lawyer, who distributed documents to the board members. Through my investment firms, I own 45% of the Wong Hotel Group, and I have agreements to purchase another 30% from other shareholders. Isabella dropped her phone. Victoria grabbed the documents, her hands shaking. This is impossible. You're just a busser? I finished for her. That's where you were wrong. While you were busy protecting your legacy, I was building my own. My net worth currently stands at $2 billion, and I've spent the last 2 years learning this business from the ground up. Something you and Isabella never bothered to do. The room erupted in chaos. Board members whispered urgently, some nodding in approval. Isabella had turned pale, gripping her mother's arm. Victoria stood frozen, the papers trembling in her hands. You see, I continued, my voice steady. I learned something valuable while buzzing tables at your hotel. Success isn't about legacy or status. It's about understanding your business from every angle, respecting your employees, and adapting to change. I pulled up a presentation showing my plans for modernizing the hotel group. I'm prepared to buy out all remaining shareholders at a 20% premium to market price, and I have detailed plans to restore this company to its former glory. Victoria finally found her voice. Your father won't allow this. He has no say in the matter. I cut her off. Dad may have married into your family, but I built my own empire. Would you like to see my other holdings? I gestured to my assistant, who distributed more documents. Isabella had started crying, mascara running down her cheeks. All those times she'd mocked my simple clothes and starter car. She'd never imagined I was worth more than their entire family combined. The board voted unanimously to accept my offer. In one morning, I had become the majority owner of the Wong Hotel Group. As shell-shocked board members filed out, I turned to Victoria and Isabella. Don't worry, I said softly. I won't fire you immediately. In fact, I think it's time you both learned the business from the ground up. Isabella, you can start by buzzing tables tomorrow. Victoria, housekeeping needs help on the 3rd floor. Victoria and Isabella showed up the next morning looking like they'd aged years overnight. Isabella's designer outfit had been replaced with the standard staff uniform. Her perfectly manicured nails, now hidden beneath rubber gloves. This is illegal, Victoria sputtered as she watched Isabella awkwardly handle a bus tub. You can't demob us like this. We'll sue. I smiled, remembering all the times they'd forced me to work double shifts. Actually, I can. The board has given me complete control over staffing decisions. But don't worry. Unlike you, I believe in fair treatment. You'll both receive the standard employee wage, plus tips. The news of my takeover spread through the hotel industry like wildfire. Techich BILIONARE reveals security IENTITYTOBUISTREGLING hotel chain. The headline screamed. My phone exploded with calls from business journalists wanting to know how the hidden heiress had pulled off such a spectacular coup. But I wasn't interested in publicity. I had work to do. The first month was chaos. Victoria tried to sabotage operations by encouraging loyal employees to quit. Instead, they came to me with recordings of her attempts. We've waited years for someone to fix this place, my former supervisor told me. We're on your side. Isabella lasted 3 days as a busser before having a meltdown in the middle of the lunch rush. I can't do this, she screamed, throwing down her towel. Do you know who I am? Yes, I replied calmly, helping a startled guest with their water. You're an employee who just abandoned their station. That's grounds for immediate termination. Would you like to reconsider your actions? She stayed, But her Instagram posts changed dramatically. Gone were the poolside photoshoots and champagne brunches. Now she posted about learning humility and understanding the value of hard work. Her followers ate it up, calling her inspirational. Meanwhile, I began implementing changes I dreamed up during those long nights clearing tables. We introduced mobile check-in, upgraded our sustainability practices, and revamped our customer service protocols. Every employee, from housekeeping to management, received comprehensive training and better benefits. "You're going to bankrupt us with these expenses," Victoria warned during a staff meeting, her housekeeping uniform wrinkled from actually cleaning rooms. "Strange," I replied, pulling up our financial reports. Our occupancy rates have increased 40% since implementing these changes. Customer satisfaction scores are at an all-time high. Care to explain why treating employees well and modernizing our services is bad for business? She had no answer. 3 months into my ownership, my father finally worked up the courage to visit. He found me in my office, my former break room that I'd converted into a modern command center. "Alexandra," he began, looking older than I remembered. I didn't know." "That's the problem, Dad," I said, not looking up from my laptop. "You never bothered to know anything about me. Too busy with your new family to notice your daughter was building an empire." He sank into a chair, his shoulders slumping. "When your mother died, I was lost. Victoria seemed like a way to give you a new family, a stable future. I never imagined that I didn't need your help," I finished. "That I could succeed without you, or that your new wife would treat your daughter like a servant." Tears filled his eyes. "I failed you. Completely and utterly failed you." For the first time in years, I saw my father, really saw him. Not the man who'd abandoned me for his new family, but the broken man who'd lost his way after Mom died. "You did," I agreed. "But it's not too late to start over, if you're willing to earn back my trust." He nodded eagerly. "Anything." "Good, because I need a new maintenance supervisor, someone who knows engineering like you do. But you'll start at entry level, like everyone else." He smiled through his tears. "When can I start?" Over the next year, the Wong Hotel Group transformed. We expanded sustainably, acquiring struggling boutique hotels and modernizing them while preserving their unique character. Our employee satisfaction scores soared, and turnover dropped to industry-leading lows. Victoria eventually quit, unable to handle taking orders from her former stepdaughter. Last I heard, she's living in a modest apartment, writing a memoir about losing it all. Isabella, surprisingly, stuck it out. She worked her way up from busying tables to restaurant management, earning every promotion through actual merit. As for my father, he thrived in maintenance. The staff loved him, and he seemed happier with a wrench in his hand than he ever had in a business suit. We started having weekly lunches, rebuilding our relationship one conversation at a time. One evening, as I was leaving the office, I found Isabella waiting by my car. "I never thanked you," she said quietly. "For what?" "For showing me what real strength looks like. I was so obsessed with status and image that I never learned what matters. You could have fired us all, but instead, you taught us." I studied my stepsister, seeing her clearly for the first time. The entitled princess was gone, replaced by someone who finally understood the value of hard work. "We're opening a new property in Bali," I said. "They need an experienced restaurant manager. Interested?" Her eyes widened. "Really? After everything?" "Everyone deserves a second chance, even spoiled stepsisters." She laughed. then grew serious. Can I ask you something? All those days you spent busying tables, dealing with our abuse. How did you stay so calm? I smiled, remembering those long days and longer nights. Because I knew something you didn't. Success isn't about being born into the right family or having the right name. It's about working smart, staying humble, and never letting anyone else define your worth. Today, the Wang Hotel Group is worth 5 times what it was when I bought it. Our properties consistently rank among the world's best, known for both luxury and conscience. Dad runs our maintenance training program, teaching new hires the value of doing things right. Isabella has turned our Bali property into a destination restaurant scene. Sometimes, during quiet moments, I visit our flagship hotel's restaurant. I watch the busy staff clearing tables and serving guests, remembering my own days doing the same work. Occasionally, new employees ask why the CEO insists on having lunch in the staff room instead of the executive dining room. Because, I tell them, the best view of a business isn't from the top, it's from the ground floor. Last week, I received an invitation to speak at business school about my journey from busser to billionaire. The event will be held at our flagship hotel. Victoria has requested a ticket to attend. I approved her request and added a note. Dress code is business casual. But don't worry, if you can't afford designer clothes, we provide uniforms. After all, success isn't just about making money. Sometimes, it's about teaching the people who once looked down on you to look up, way up.